Jay Gurudev. What were the chances? He just came and he started looking. He's curious. He wants to be part of this journey. And looks like we already started. Jay Gurudev, Rishi Ji. I'm gonna start recording on this one. We're gonna place it here.
Whatever you want.
Oops. I think this is a good one. Let's record with this one. Jay Gurudev.
Jay Gurudev.
How are you, Rishi?
I'm good. And you?
Nice to have you.
I'm really happy to go for a walk with you. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the channel.
I'm a fan of you actually. And this is actually an epic
episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be an epic episode because we're also sharing the office. So
yes.
We have so many connections, and the crazy thing is, even though we're sharing an office and we've been here for 2 years, I think this is going to be our first
serious conversation.
Conversation.
That's kind of funny, yeah.
And I'm very curious how you started your spiritual path, how you met Guruji, and how you ended up here. And let's go from the beginning.
Yeah, perfect. So where to start? Yeah, where my spiritual path started, I would say, like, I was born in Italy, in a Catholic family, but not really, no one was really practicing anything in our family. We were just Christian as tradition, as culture. So basically, we were going to church at the major festivities, Christianity, Easter, Christmas.
Like occasional.
Occasion, yeah, okay.
Just for the big celebrations.
Exactly, but personally, on an inner level, I didn't believe in God. I think I never believed since I was a kid. I didn't have any spiritual inclination. I was really interested to know stuff. I was really curious. I had this deep interest towards truth. But all this interest was always towards researching into the scientific world, scientific knowledge. But not any spiritual tradition. I was not really interested. So that's basically my kind of background of my mindset since I was small. And I think the story on how I met Guruji starts 11 years ago, when all started through my mother. And one day my mother was going back back home from her job, and she passed through a park. And in that park there were several people singing bhajans. And she felt super attracted to it, and she went there and see what it was about. And within that circle there were people from different groups, different traditions, different Hindu traditions, such as Sai Baba devotees, other tradition, and also some devotees of Guruji, Paramahamsa Vishwananda. And so she had this inner like attraction towards this music, this culture, and she went full into it. She started to create contact with them, and she started to join more and more, without us even knowing it at all. It was something that she was doing by herself. And basically, just with this encounter, like kind of for her, like it opened up all the spirituality that she repressed all her life. She never expressed this spirituality, but just with this encounter. So
she had an inner calling, but she never manifested.
Never expressed it externally, for different reasons. So basically, one of these devotees approached my mother and told her about Guruji, about his path, and invited her for a darshan. I think the darshan was in Torino.
What year was this?
We are speaking about 2015 or 16. Don't remember exactly. Back then I was around 18 years old. My mindset was completely different. I was completely not interested in any of this.
You were preparing for college?
Basically I was finishing my high school, and my idea was going to study physics.
Physics?
Yeah, and then I actually went to study physics in the following year. But anyway, so my mom goes to the darshan, again, like was not something that she spoke out loud in the family. We just knew she was going with a friend to this event. Was because also
she has a secret life.
not in the sense, but because I think also her, she was not fully aware what was going to, you know. So she was discovering a completely new world for her. But I remember when she came back from the darshan, she was a completely different person. Like on energetic level, she was like not the same person I used to know. And what was the context, the wider context in our family, is that my mother and my father were not in good relationships since a while, but still staying together at home.
Yeah.
But after she had this encounter with Guruji, this brought a huge shift in our family. And in maybe 1-2 months after she met Guruji first time, my mother and my father split. And so eventually my father went out from our home, and so I was alone with my mother and my sister at home. And as I was saying, all this spirituality that she kept inside of her for all these years came out as a volcano. And in a few weeks, you could see the home, our home, like surrounded by picture of Guruji, picture of saints. She was putting these songs of mantras. I remember this Gayatri mantra going on and on and on in our home. I was going crazy. It was too much.
Your house became a temple.
Yeah, it was basically a temple. And the most shocking for me was the shift in personality and on her being of my mother. She became a completely different person.
Wow. But how did you perceive it? Was it a good transformation, or?
I could not see, now looking back, I could not see how happy she was, because she was really happy. I could see like a new chapter open up for her life.
Okay.
But what I could see in that moment, I at least how I was perceiving, I had so much fear and anger.
And anger, why?
And anger, because like I thought she was going mad. No, seriously.
And you're fully on the scientific path.
Yeah, exactly, super rational mindset.
Yeah. Reality is what we see, we have to measure,
Exactly.
And she was completely irrational.
Yeah, she was gone. And most on a human level also, because she's my mother, and I interpret logically that maybe she didn't take well broke up with my father, you know?
It's like trauma, how this coping with the trauma of separation.
Whatever it was, I interpret in that way.
Okay.
So I was angry, afraid, and worried for her. But externally, I was not very able to express this worry, so it was expressed as anger. I was going actively against, what are you doing? This is crazy, it's not good. And basically, in some months, eventually also my sisters joined my mother and start to follow.
You were losing your entire family to this.
And so we are speaking, my sister is 7 years younger.
Okay.
So back then, she was basically teenager, starting teenage age, maybe 11 years old was. And so I was even more worried, because it's not an adult person, it's a kid that is involved into that by my mother. And so I was really, really worried, a lot of anger. And eventually I really tried to distance myself by all this, because I really, really didn't want to be involved at all. And eventually I finished my high school and I went to study university in another city in Italy. So what happened that for several years, 3-4 years, I was outside. I was not at home. I was coming here and there once in some months, but I was coming just for a couple of days, and I was staying with my friend mostly. You know?
See another picture popping up.
Yeah, exactly. I was just seeing the trajectory it was taking my family, and say, okay, I really don't want to look at it. Okay. And then what happens? Maybe then we can jump forward to March 2020, when I finished my studies. And my plan was taking 1 year off and taking the opportunity to travel.
It's
I
just
really-
before COVID.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to travel. I wanted to learn English because
Mhm.
I didn't know English back then. So my plan was going in different countries, maybe make some money, small jobs, and travel around like hippie.
Of course.
And my
You
first,
deserve it. You
Yeah.
studied so much physics.
yeah.
You-
And then eventually, after that year will have finished, I will continue with my study more deeper, a master degree, and so on. And what happened? I already envisioned my plan. I have already stuff ready, and my plan was going to Malta because it was a beautiful Mediterranean country. There are English speakers because it was a British colony, and so say, okay, that's the perfect destination. Where to start? I will do some money, learn some English, and then I move forward. So
Yes.
everything is planned. I found also a place where to stay, a rent. And my plan is just I go back at home, I pack my stuff, and then eventually leave in
Mhm.
a couple of weeks. So I stay a bit with my parents, and then I go. So I go back, and what happened? And as soon as I come, COVID starts, as you said. And you're for sure you remember like
Closed,
it
everything is
escalated so quickly. Like in a few days they start to close. No
You're
one
locked.
knew. Yeah, you're
Trapped.
locked.
You were trapped in
Exactly,
your own home.
completely trapped.
So good.
And it was really tough for me because externally you have all this what was happening outside,
Yeah.
so much fear, so much insecurity, so much not understanding what's happening,
Yeah.
right? No one actually knew what was about. Yeah. And internally, especially in my home, was so much like conflicts because I was a different person. I lived outside. I had my own personal experiences in life, and most of all they became a completely different person. In the meanwhile, they both became devotees.
Oh.
So their whole life completely changed. Like their
Puja,
whole-
Abhishekam,
Absolutely.
Kriya.
everything, and also their understanding of life was different, you know. And again, now looking back, you could clearly see how they changed him better. But in that moment, for me, was just how much they were brainwashed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I could see only this I had this negative interpretation
Yeah.
of what was happening. And so there was every day a lot of conflicts because there is stress. We never spent so much time close for so long, and it was becoming unbearable. And then eventually, through my sister, I met a girl that she's devotee, and basically we became we start to date.
Okay.
So to cut it short, I was completely surrounded. My mother, my sister, and my girlfriend
No
were
escape.
all devotees. And again, but there is this like turmoil between
Yeah.
us, you know, because like Guruji is in the middle of
Yeah,
everything, right?
Yeah.
And you cannot just avoid
You
it.
cannot
you know?
ignore it.
Yeah, you cannot ignore because their understanding, their conception of life is centered on
Yeah.
him. And I could not understand how a person could love how they could love Guruji, this person that they never actually have an interaction, you know?
Yeah.
Or like just spend few seconds, or
Yeah.
was like completely
Made no sense.
make no sense.
Yeah.
And so this conflict rise, and then eventually a peak where I told myself I clearly remember one day, and I told myself I tell myself that I'm a rational person, I'm a scientific person, but I'm actually thinking and acting really irrationally because I'm judging without even actually experiencing this. So at least before giving a
Common sense
Yeah,
prevailed
yeah.
finally.
I remember exactly that day when I have this thought, and it was kind of struggling to accept because he didn't want to admit it.
But it
That
was
was
the
wrong.
logical conclusion.
Yeah, it was the
You
logical
cannot
conclusion.
Refute
Yeah,
a premise without experiencing.
exactly. There was a big contradiction within myself. I was judging without actually never experiencing it.
Very
I was
good.
really biased because I didn't believe in all this.
Yeah.
But at least if I would
As a
have,
scientist,
Yeah.
you should
I
experiment.
should have experiment except by myself, and then give my own
Conclusion.
my own conclusion. And so I remember
So good.
I told myself, I remember this day, they're either all crazy, these people, or there is actually something that I'm not able to perceive, but there is actually something, because it's not possible everyone is crazy, because I used to know these people, it's my mother, my sister, they were not like this.
If they
right?
were strangers, you
Yeah.
could refute it
Exactly.
further, but yeah.
And so I told myself, okay, it was really painful to admit and say, okay, let me at least open up a bit to this possibility, right? And let me experience just a bit. And that was the period where, again, we are in COVID, Guruji started these online darshans, right? And for who doesn't know, like darshan is this blessing that
The
our
blessing,
master
yeah.
gives.
And it
And-
was on Zoom.
Yeah, in this period,
Thousands of
Guruji started to
people.
give exactly blessing on Zoom, online. And so I told to my mother, my sister, my girlfriend, I say, okay, I would like to try this online darshan. I remember they were so happy. They were so happy when
Of course, because they knew what
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
exposing yourself to.
Exactly. I remember they were really, really happy. So basically, they booked the next online darshan, and I remember, if I'm not wrong, was 5th December 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to this online darshan, took the darshan, and I didn't feel anything. I was telling myself, I was right. These people are completely crazy. There is this guy looking at you.
It's just an illusion.
Yeah.
They're this mirage.
Yeah,
of
they're
their own
completely
mind.
suggestion in their
Yeah.
mind, you know?
Self-suggestion. yeah.
Exactly. Say they're completely off their mind. I was right, but I didn't tell externally. Say I just wanted to make them happy. Say let me move on. So I remember the day basically finished. They were happy. My girlfriend was happy. My mother and my sister were happy. And then eventually the day finished. I go to sleep. And the day after I wake up, and as soon as I wake up, I receive a phone call from my ex-girlfriend, and she tells me she really cut it short. She was really cold in her face. I say, I don't know what happened. I really feel that I'm not having the same feelings towards you anymore. And I don't think there is no
There's no
reason
future
to
for
continue.
our
Exactly, there is no reason to
relationship.
continue
Yeah.
with this relationship. I'm sorry. I think that for now will be nice that we don't speak, so it's better for both of us. And I was like really shocked, and really hit me strongly because I was really emotionally involved with her. Was really a strong hit. Also because again, we are in COVID. There's constantly open and closing of this lockdown, and so everyone is in a really sensible moment,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And this really hit me strongly. But back then I didn't see the hand of Guruji because I didn't have any faith in that back
You
then.
didn't see your future
Yeah.
brahmachari life.
No,
like,
not at all, not at all. And what happened? That month after that episode was really, really tough because I was there at home, nothing to do basically because I finished my studies. I was not traveling, nothing to do. I was spending all day watching Netflix, playing video games. There.
What to do? It's COVID.
Yeah, nothing to do. There's no purpose in my life. And I was really, and my mind was ruminating on these things, trying to understand what happened, you know? Because from one day to another, the day before was super happy, me taking darshan, and then the day after she's another person. And I was constantly ruminating on this. And I wanted really to go out from this pain. And I said, I have to do something about it, no? And where I actually start to search for release, actually in the path that this new path start to open up in front of me, right? So I start to say, okay, I have I don't want to suffer anymore. And exactly 1 month later, now we are speaking about 6 January 2021, Guruji gives a new online darshan. I say, okay, let me take another online darshan.
You're ready for another shot.
Yeah. And the reason why I took this darshan were two basically. One, because generally I wanted to stay better, stop suffering. Another, because I will still have the hope that this will bring me closer to her. Because I knew that she will have been taken on
Happy
darshan.
to see you doing
Yeah,
the
exactly. And
steps
this
on
will
the
be
path.
like a hook where I could
Yes.
actually go back there. And so I take this online darshan, and it was really painful for me. It was a really painful experience because I was searching for help in this moment, right? And again, I didn't feel any transcendental moment, but it was really releasing. It was a moment where I released my emotion and I felt a bit better. But I remember exactly after this darshan, I had, all this repressed energy. Say I have to really do something because I have all this energy I kept inside myself. I need to release them somehow. I was in my room at home, and at the door there is one pull-up bar.
Yeah.
Okay. So I say I have to do something. I'm speaking literally after darshan, right? So there's this pull-up bar. I start to do pull-ups, and I am the top of the bar like this. And in that moment, the bar, the hook snaps, and the bar fell. And I was basically with my knee on the air, and I fell with both my knee on the floor, marble floor on
No way.
in the house, and I could not move. And something broke, right? And I remember I was on the floor, and all these emotions, everything came out all of a sudden, and I started to cry like crazy. Like I couldn't understand what is happening, right? In all this month, like everything started to fall apart.
And it snapped.
Yeah, and basically, in a pragmatical way, then my mother came, and she brought me to the hospital because I could not walk, I could not stand. We're in the middle of COVID, right? So
Everything is complicated.
It's super complicated. Yeah. My mother drive me to the hospital. I go there. I'm alone. I have to enter alone, and it was funny. I don't know. I hope you didn't have to go to an hospital during COVID. But when you enter back then, you enter in this big room where there are just a couple of persons dressed as basic astronauts.
Yes, yeah.
That's crazy. Completely covered up, head to toe. And before you actually say anything or what is happening to you, the first thing that they do, they test. Yeah. So I go there, I had just knee pain, right? I go there, they test me, 0 symptoms, and they found me positive.
So they have also COVID. Welcome to our club.
Yeah. It's getting worse and worse.
It's your next prison, the hospital.
And so it's getting worse and worse. They without even ask me anything, they take me, bring me in this huge room. I remember the massive room, and I was surrounded by sick people, right? All people like with COVID, right?
Yeah.
And it hit me so strongly because I sat there with my knee pain, waiting someone will come and speak with me, and I stayed for quite a long, at least 1 hour sitting there.
Wow.
And I was surrounded by these people. I was really sick. People that were on
with
machines
and
it
was breathe.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like in that moment I started to reflect, what is happening? Like, this is not normal, right? And just to cut it short, eventually they take care of me. I went to some rehabilitation throughout the weeks, and like in several months I start again to walk. But what happens in this month? I went back at home, and again we are in lockdown again, second wave of lockdown, and now I cannot even work at home. And I really, in that moment, I reached the lowest point possible. I was really, really depressed, I would say. I didn't have any aim in that moment. And from my room, I was spending all the day in my room. I could hear in my next room my sister, and I could hear very often laughing, speaking with somebody. Say, "With who is speaking?" Right? And so I take my stitches. I go in the room.
Your crutches.
Yeah, my crutches, sorry. My crutches. And I go to the room and I see she's on Zoom speaking with some people, no? So I go there and I see like a group of people I never saw, plus my ex-girlfriend. And what they started to do in the weeks before, they start to meet together, Sangha meetings among only youngsters, the youngsters of Bhakti Marga Italy.
So cool.
And since I have nothing to do, I'm completely depressed. I really don't know what to do. I say, okay, let me sit here, you know, and spend time with these people.
So cool.
And so I sit there. And again, what motivates me to stay there? One, same reasons. One, I really generally would like to learn more about this path. I want to move on. Understand and move out from this suffering. Because I start to see now what they have all in common, all these people. There is so much light in their eyes, you know? There's so much happiness. And I could not understand why. I thought that was completely irrational, but there was something real, right? In their eyes. But at the same time, there is this selfish reason is I'm still have this hope to hook again with my ex-girlfriend. But anyway, that's the circumstances, and I start to join them, right? And they do many activities, they chat, and then one of them is like in groups, they read Bhagavad Gita together. And then the next week they will have met and like they start to present the chapter and everything. Every these like activities where you actually read and study the Gita.
Like a study group.
And so this is my first time I was actually exposed to this philosophy, the actual knowledge behind all this tradition. And it was so nice because at the beginning I was trying to just like refute. I wanted to refute. There was a part of me I want to refute this, right?
Let's debate.
I was debating with Swami Akash, Rishi Akash back then, and it was nice because it was not like
fighting.
It was not fighting, and it was not like ungrounded, right? It was irrational because one thing that kept me away is I saw in my mother and sister all these emotions, but I could not understand rationally why. They never were able to give me a rational explanation.
You thought it was ungrounded emotions
Exactly.
of the spiritual people who just fly around
Exactly.
with no substance.
Exactly.
In the real
No
world.
substance, and the fact that the only way to actually experience these emotions, you have to shut down your brain. I don't want that, right?
Yeah.
It means that I have to become stupid in a way.
Yeah.
That's
and accept irrational reality.
Exactly, exactly. But that's the first time where a person is able is embodying these emotions. I can see this light within them, but at the same time is able to give me a rational explanation of what their path is. And I was so drawn by it. I had so many questions, and they helped me a lot to read the Gita. I started to read the Gita with them, also with my mother and my sister.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, so cool.
It was so nice. It was really nice. It was one of the most sweet and beautiful period. Also painful, but it was really nice because I could feel a new thing, a new world was open in front of me, right? And so I was really drawn by the Gita, reading the Gita with them, meeting every week. And I could not. And then looking back, I could see that every week I was meeting with them, I was becoming a different person, right? Something was open up, and more I was opening up with this path, more the curiosity to actually meet Guruji was growing. And I remember, actually, now that I came just now with this memory, I completely forgot about it. I remember one day we had these meetings, and these were happening in the evening, right? And I remember Guruji enters in the room of Swami Akash, and he comes there, and everyone like this, like super excited. And it's the first time I see actually devotees, how they react when Guruji arrives. I was shocked, right? It's like, what happened to these people?
Why do you change your
Yeah,
behavior
they were like this,
They became holy.
yeah,
all of a
super
sudden.
holy. And I was so like embarrassed and like out of I felt really not in my environment. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God. I remember Guruji started to look at all the faces, no?
Yeah.
And then he read my name, Andrea. Who is this guy? So question, and that's what was my really first interaction. I said, hello, hi. Yeah, and this actually came in my mind only now. I completely forgot
So
about it.
nice. It's good we're doing this talk.
Yeah. And so basically the month passed by. I started to develop this feeling for the path and this desire to actually discover more. And more, I actually feel I'm healing from all this pain and suffering. And then we arrive I think in July 2021. And in this period, there again start to opening up everything, start less restrictive measures for lockdown. And one day my mother and my sister come to me and they tell me, we are going to Germany, in Frankfurt, and there is Guruji's ashram, the monastery. And every summer there is this event called Just Love Festival. This festival for young people, nice music, nice environment. If you want to come, you can come. And actually they propose me this every year. Like since actually my mom got to know about Guruji, I always say no. I don't even listen to them, right?
Yeah.
And this is the first time I actually told yes, I will come.
So this is 2021.
Yeah, summer 2021.
Wow.
When I came for the first time in the ashram. So we are driving here, and I remember thinking about now I was so excited actually on the whole trip. I really had this sense that something new is really new chapter in my life is opening up.
Wow.
It was not on a mental level, but something really a deeper feeling.
You started to have feelings.
Yeah, I started to have feelings.
Like these people.
Yeah, exactly. But that was always a part of me that I didn't want to admit fully to myself, right? And so I remember this excitement, like nervousness also, like something big is coming. So we arrive here and we spend a weekend here for a Just Love Festival. It was actually Guru Purnima. I came the day of Guru Purnima, 2021. And actually it was the day that was announced the Haribhakta Sampradaya.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! You came at a historic moment.
Exactly, and it's also the day when Rishi Jagadish became Swami Akash. It was really an historic moment, really memorable moment. But what I remember of this weekend is how I was surprised to see this place, and I had a completely different imagination of how this place would have been for me. Because in my head, this place was like a congregation of monks, super strict, meditating all day, serious. And then when I arrive here, it's completely
full-fledged festival.
Exactly, it's like, oh my God, this is more closer to the festival I used to go than actually a monastery, right? And I was so excited about it. It was so nice. I had so much fun. And in that specific weekend, I saw Guruji for the first time. And I don't have so much memory of it actually. I remember I was looking at him and nothing happened on a deeper level. There was no recognition, nothing opening up really. But a great curiosity, I was drawn by him. And there was no interaction. Actually, he just saw me once with a group of Italians and he just asked my name. And that's it. That was my only interaction then. But I remember I finished that weekend. We came back to Italy and I was so excited. I really love it a lot. And I said, I really want to go back. And it's so much fun, But on a material sense, I had so much fun. I met so much new people, nice music. So I had a lot of fun. And so I said, I want to come back. And then my mother and my sister came a second time, 1 month later, for Gayatri Yagna. Right? And I told them, I will come, I want to come. So we come here. But in my mind, I had this expectation to actually live the same experiences I lived.
Just love.
In the same setting, the same environment. I arrive here and it's completely different. Because it's the first time I get exposed to an actual Hindu festivity, a proper ritual, Hindu ritual. And it's basically 24 hours of
chanting,
exactly.
prayers,
and
singing.
Exactly. And I arrive and I was shocked because it's not what I was looking for. But I remember exactly when I was doing Yagna, it's the first time that actually started to open up. Something in my heart, like recognized
that
something.
Gayatri mantra that you heard in the house.
Exactly.
Now it's running into our office.
But it's so real in that moment, right?
Yeah.
Like not on a mind level. On the mind, I don't understand anything of what is happening. No one is really able to explain me what is going on. But on heart level, something recognized, right? And in that weekend also, basically what is happening also in my mind in this context. Now they start opening up, I start to ask myself what to do in my life right now. Because I had this plan to travel around, but already 1 year of my life is gone. And I felt I don't have time to actually take another year to travel. So I want to keep going with my studies, right? But a part of me, something changed inside. I really didn't feel to move forward with the studies. So I was conflicted. And so in this weekend, I'm speaking with Swami Akash, some people about my circumstances. And then somehow, through Swami Akash, I had the opportunity to speak with Guruji for the first time. And so it's me, Swami Akash, and him. And Swami Akash tells me, you can ask him whatever you want, right? And everyone told me, like you can ask whatever you want, he might answer you. And in my mind, he was not my guru in that moment, right? I would never went to him, ask him a direction for my life and fully following it. I just wanted an advice, right? So maybe he's a wise person, let me ask him, right? So I'm thinking about this and it doesn't cost me anything to ask him.
Of course.
So I say, okay, let me ask. And I told him, I'm a bit conflicted. I'm studying physics. I should keep going with my studies or do something else, finding a job or traveling. So basically I give these two options, either studying or doing something else. And I remember Guruji started to look up as if he's like checking the destiny of the people. And then he goes back to me, he smiles and said, you should come to the ashram. In that moment, I'm completely shocked. And my first reaction was, no, thank you, I don't want to come. I told him this. But why I told him this? Because I look around me and I'm in the middle of Germany, in a Hindu monastery, and with all these monks around me. And I kind of thought that if I say yes, I had to become a monk immediately. I didn't know that you can actually come, experience the ashram, doing service, seva, and then choose by yourself which path you want to pursue.
I lived for 2 years here. I'm not a monk. I
Yeah.
have a family.
Yeah, you have family.
So you
That's
can
the
live.
beauty also of this
Yeah.
place and of Guruji, that
Yeah.
gives the opportunity to everyone to
Yeah.
experience this place and to do service.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't know back then, and and I told him no, thank you, I don't want to come. And actually, his reaction was the first time I start to see that he was not a regular person. Because when you tell no to a person like this, you can see that they are not happy about it.
Yeah.
But I remember I tell him no, and then he looks at me with such loving eyes and smiles me in such a loving way that I think no one ever looked at me like this, right? I didn't feel judged at all. It was so sweet and full of love. I felt really touched in that moment. And then he said, okay, it's not a problem, as you want.
I have all the time in the world.
Yeah, exactly. As if he knew already the path to come. And basically, to cut it short, then he invited me for dinner that evening. Have dinner with him, with some people. I met Rishi Jagadish for the first time there. We have a conversation. And basically that weekend finished there. Basically after, I told him, no, I don't want to come. At dinner, he didn't speak with me at all. There was no interaction with him. So basically the weekend finishes and I'm ready to go back at home. We take the car and with my mother, my sister, and we go out of the property to go back to the highway to go to Italy. And I remember as soon as we go out and we go to the highway, I start to cry like crazy. And I could not understand what was happening within me. There was so much pain. There was really so much, even physical pain, like inside my chest. And I could not stop crying. And on the mind level, I could not understand it. And now looking back, the feeling was as if someone took away from me the most precious thing I ever had, right? And someone snatched it away from me. But in that moment, it didn't make any sense. But I spent all the 10 hours trip, like in this deep pain, crying. It was really, really a painful experience.
Like
But
a
then-
separation.
Exactly, pain of separation. But on a mental level, it didn't make any sense.
Didn't make
Any sense. And so what happened, eventually we arrived back to Italy. And in the stupidity of the mind, I start to question this inner experience. I start to say, maybe it's all this year that I went to this emotional breakdowns.
Now I'm releasing.
Yeah, I'm
that,
releasing and there's nothing actually factually real in this,
Yeah.
just emotional states.
They are not related.
They are not related. And eventually I even forgot about it, about this feeling. But I remember the 2-3 weeks I spent after that, I was really empty again. I really didn't have nothing that could keep me in this world, no purpose, and didn't know what to do again in my life. I'm now again, in this new chapter where I have to choose what to do in my life again. And nothing was attracting me, right? Zero interest in anything. And my mother, my sister could see this in me. And I remember one day my mother came to me and she said, you know what happened to you? Guruji inviting you in the ashram is not something that you should take for granted. It's not something that happens to everybody. Because when this happened to me, I kind of thought that this is the most normal thing that happens to everybody, But Guruji, my mother has told me, it's like when God invites you at his home. You should never lose this opportunity, And this sentence really struck me a lot. And then she started to explain me the concept of seva, I never actually knew what it was, and she told me, you can go there, do some volunteering job, and then you clarify what you want to do in your life, and then when you have chosen, you can see and move forward. And I said, this makes a lot of sense actually. I have nothing to do, so let me
Experience some seva.
Exactly. And so I applied for seva for Navaratri. I came Navaratri 2021 to stay 1 month. And to cut it short, since then I never left. Many things in between happened. But basically that's how actually my path started. Then I eventually became devotee and many other things. But that's how actually I came to him.
clearly remember seeing you on the live stream because at one point you started traveling with Guruji. You started spending a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you on the live stream, serving him up close. And I remember I was with a devotee friend and we were looking and said, here's a new guy. He's Italian, no? He's going to be a Swami at one point. But random, you're not even brahmachari.
Yeah.
It's like he has the face of a future Swami. And it made no sense. We just said it. It was like,
Doesn't
make
any sense.
You're a Rishi now, a Swami in training.
Yeah.
But tell me so what happens? You come here, you start your seva, and how does this relationship with Guruji grow? How do you become devotee at the end of the day?
That's also a really funny story because again, we start where I left the story.
Yeah.
I come here for Navaratri. I stay here 1 month and eventually Guruji tells me to stay more, right? So, but what happens as soon as I step here in the ashram since that first month, the relationship with Guruji completely changed. There is not anymore that sweetness that he gave to me in the first encounter, right? And I was so shocked because I was judging Guruji with this human understanding. And it's like, let's say you invite me at home, at your home for dinner.
I'm the host, basically.
And then I come at home.
I should treat you as a guest and as the most important person.
I have this kind of mindset and say, I'm coming at your home and then you don't speak with me. Doesn't make any sense. You invited me at home. I'm not forcing myself here, right? And there was so much judgment in my mind. Say, why is doing this to me? And there was so much jealousy also. Say, I want also to be close. I see all these people around him. I want the same thing. It was completely irrational. It was something that was coming deeper, right? This desire to be close to the master. But what happened in this month of Guruji distancing himself from me, I could actually start to learn about this path. I spent time with the devotees, with the residents. I start to attend the prayers. So I'm exposed to all this culture for the really first time. And really, the feeling of transformation was so strong. I felt really changing from inside so quickly. Was becoming a completely different person. And eventually, they start to give me seva. I'm in housekeeping. And this was also one of the first challenges.
The physician.
Yeah,
from
physicist,
scientist.
Exactly, to housekeeper.
This is going to be the title of the video. From physicist to housekeeper on the path towards God.
Yeah.
Epic.
And I was like asking myself, why I have to do this? They should put me, I could contribute in such a bigger way,
I
right?
could give you a nuclear reactor.
Exactly. We can build a nuclear reactor here, just here.
Look,
to power up the ashram.
The power plant should be on this field.
And so there was so much judgment and anger. But at the same time, I noticed that by basically what I was doing every day, I was cleaning the toilets, cleaning the house, the ashram, throwing the garbage out, really basic things. And I spent all days with my headphones on, listening at satsang of Guruji, satsang of the temple, of bhajan. So I spent days, day after day, exposed to this all new culture.
That seva facilitates this.
Exactly.
It's one of the few sevas that you can really do your seva, but also listen to satsang and all this.
Exactly.
It's quite a very good
And the most
position.
important thing that actually changed something within me was the simplicity. Because I think within my mind, I've always been super complex. I always overcomplicate everything within my mind. And the beauty of Guruji is like, you see, that he's speaking a truth that is so simple.
Yes.
He speaks so clearly as simple, yet is so profound. And by actually doing this seva, I start to become much more simple in my mind. Stop asking me like never-ending question that actually doesn't bring you to anywhere, right? It's the only question that brings you to other question. So I start to be much more calm in my mind, much more simple. I start to be connected more to this path. And eventually, after some weeks and months, I realized this is the path I want to follow. And again, externally, Guruji is not giving me attention. That is happening everything internally with the seva, with the sangha. And so one day I have clearly this thought, I really want to pursue in this path. I want to become a devotee. This is after 2 months I'm here. And I remember that day I was cleaning the toilets And I'm thinking, this is my path, I want to become devotee. But then all the negativity comes up in my mind. And what happens in my mind that I start to think at all the moments in my life where I had a big opportunity to choose something, but out of fear, I freeze and I lost a lot of trains. And this is a pattern that happens so many times in my life, that I never had the courage to take a big opportunity in life. And I remember I'm cleaning the toilets and I start to cry because it was so painful to actually realize
the
this,
missed
that
opportunities. Yeah.
all these missed opportunities, and I could see the same pattern will have come here. That I have the opportunity to change my life, to open up with something so big, so new. Yet I see the potential danger. I will let it go because I'm afraid.
That's a grace to experience something like this.
But it was so painful. I remember the pain was because everything came up in one instant.
The image of you cleaning the toilet and crying is
it's quite ridiculous, but
it's
powerful.
It's powerful, to have this realization in a simple task. It's so beautiful.
Exactly. Where you clean outside and both you are cleansing also your inside, your consciousness. And what happened? I never prayed in my life. Never had this experience of prayer. In that moment I felt the urge to actually pray. I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know also who to pray, right? For me, God was always a construct of the mind.
Yeah.
But the first time I really have this urge, I need to ask help. And within myself, within my mind, I start to ask Guruji, please help me to, my prayer was, please give me strength to take decision in life. This was the prayer. I felt really released, my first experience of sincere prayer, and I kind of move on. And that day, Guruji was not even in the ashram. He was not here. 2 days later, Guruji comes back. And again, the context is Guruji is not speaking with me. And I remember this day, I am in the dining hall, cleaning the dishes. Guruji comes for lunch. He is having lunch in the dining hall.
Wow,
yeah.
Rare occasion.
Rare occasion. He passed by in front of the dishwashing area and he sees me. And he say, "Ah, Jai Gurudev, Francesco." My name was Andrea. Back then, my birth name is Andrea, but he called me Francesco. Still, I don't know why. For a while, he called me Francesco. And he told me, come here. And I go there, and he asked me, "So, how are you?" I say, I'm good, thank you, Guruji, good. And then he started to like dig in and say, "Are you sure? Are you good?" I say, yes, I'm good. And he started to inquire, "Are you sure? Please, Dai, come on, tell me." And I didn't understand what he wanted because in the meanwhile I even forgot about my prayer, right? I move on. And then at a certain point I realized maybe he wants to hear from me this, right? And before I actually tell him, he's saying, the other day you asked me to give you strength. And he exactly repeat the prayer I had within my heart 2 days before. And this was actually the moment where I actually had this proof, this realization, oh my God, this person is not a regular human being, right?
Wow.
And gives me some, it tells me, you are strong, but you don't realize it. You really will be able to actually tap into this strength when you will be able to control your mind and not listen to your mind. And you really helped me in that moment. And then Guruji looked at me, said, "You want to come at dinner today in my place?" I say, sure.
I'm Italian, I will never say no to
exactly.
dinner.
And so that night I go to dinner to his place. I arrive there, and in the middle of the dinner, I actually see all the swamis and the people, the close associate of Guruji. It was really nice. I had this imagery of like, the Last Supper.
The Last Supper.
Yeah. It was so funny.
That's the first association.
The vibe, that was the vibe. And then in the middle of the dinner, it drops this bomb, Guruji. Say, "Today I will initiate this guy," referring to me. Say, "Oh wow." And so it was like internally, so excited. Oh my God, it's happening now. So we have dinner. Eventually the dinner finishes. And so I'm waiting there, like something is gonna happen. And you see Guruji completely shift his mood and say, "Good night, everybody." And he sends everybody away. And I'm sitting there, I'm not moving because I thought, maybe it's the moment. He's sending everybody away. It will be a really intimate moment, me and him. And then he looks at me really really strict. I say, good night, also to you. And he sent me away. I said, why is doing this? Again, seeing this behavior like doesn't match. And then new day comes. I meet him again in the ashram the day after, and he asked me, you want to come to dinner tonight? I said, yes. And I go to dinner, and in the dinner he asked me, sorry, but I wanted to ask you, are you initiated devotee? I said, no, I'm not initiated. And look how stupid is the mind. In that moment when he asked me this, I start to doubt him. I say, how is it possible that he's able to listen to my prayer, but he forgot?
Don't remember what
he
we
does,
talked yesterday.
Exactly. And I felt, and I started to question everything. Maybe I completely didn't understand what he said. He actually didn't listen to my prayer. So I have so much doubt. And eventually what happens, for 1 week, I'm invited every day at dinner, and every night he's asking me, are you initiated devotee? And I am going crazy in that moment, like, what is happening? And
So
yeah,
funny.
and then arrives the night, 6th December of 2021, the night of San Nicholas.
Saint Nicholas.
And it's exactly 1 year before my first darshan, online darshan, because it happened the 6th December 2020. And that day, again, he invites me at dinner. Same dynamic. He say good night to everybody. This time I know I'm leaving, and I say no, you stay. And then we have this weird like exchange where he start to show me around his house, you know, like all the rooms, the room of the guys, the rishis and the swamis. And then he shows me the cellar. Shows me the cellar. He say, this will be your new room in the cellar. And I was so scared in the moment because I didn't know Gurdjieff, didn't know his irony, that he likes to joke, everything. I took it so seriously. I was so afraid to express myself. And then he looked at me super serious in my eyes, said, is okay for you? And I said, yes. For me it was a no. I was so scared. And said, good, go inside the room. I go inside the room, he closed the door, he shut down the light, and in the middle of this cellar, in complete darkness, and I'm freaking out in this moment. I start to rationalize.
So good.
I'm in the middle of Germany, in this guru's ashram. I don't know anyone. Something bad is gonna happen. And I say, okay, I don't have to freak out because really doesn't end up well. So
I saw all the movies. You don't have to panic.
So what happened? I start to sit on the floor I don't see anything. I sit on the floor and I start to meditate because I really to calm down. So I do breathe slowly.
Good,
So let's see what's gonna happen. Let's have some faith. Let's see what's gonna happen. And so I kind of lost completely track of time in that moment. I could have passed like 1 minute or 30 minutes. I have no idea. And eventually, at a certain point, I hear the door opening again. And it's good. Tells me, okay, come out now. I come out.
So you stayed. That's the cool thing, that you actually stayed there.
Because I was super afraid. So I don't know. I go out.
What's gonna expect? At least here I'm alone. What's gonna happen? Very good.
So I go out. He's there, like no emotions. Just look at me, and he asks me, "Okay, tell me something." And in that moment, something clicked in my mind. And in that moment, why I realized why he was asking me every day, "Are you initiated devotee?" Because in my prayer 1 week before, I asked him to give me strength. And actually, he was pushing me to take this decision. Because actually, at the end, the decision was for me. I had to take the decision.
Yes.
He could not take the decision for me. And so he was creating the perfect circumstances for me to take the decision and have strength in that.
Wow.
And only in that moment I have the realization. And I said, yes, I would like to become devotee. And he, what? Really? Said yes, as if he didn't know, right, what he was doing. I said yes. And he said, okay, when? Say, now? I don't know. Say, now? Okay, let's do it. And he wakes up Rishi Jagadish, does he remember? There's him, wake up, prepare Chandam and Kumkum, we're gonna initiate this guy. And then it's 6th December 2021, I became devotee of Guruji with the name of Jagadish Das. Since that day, my relationship with Guruji completely changed on the outside.
Yeah.
He started to keep me close, give me like personal interaction and so on.
You start to serve him.
Yeah, personally.
Yeah.
And that's where the journey actually started. Yeah.
This is epic. I never knew this. This is so
I actually
good.
never shared like publicly these stories.
Bro,
it's kind of
but
funny.
It's so beautiful. It's because it shows you the care he has and how he literally wants the consent of the people. Because people come to Guruji and they ask him, are you my guru? Are you my Sadguru? Should I become your devotee? And he never says yes or no.
Yeah.
He tells the people, look inside your heart.
Exactly. And
What
then
do
he
you
create the
feel?
circumstances where you have actually at a certain point take the decision. That's the beauty. You ask him for help, then he empowers you to take the decision, but then he creates the all circumstances where then you have to take the decision.
Yes.
You cannot look back
Yeah.
and go either left or right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew. And what happens? So now your relationship changes,
Yeah.
and you're close to him. And how does that manifest? How does that affect you? Because at one point you become brahmachari. There's a choice. Devotee is one thing, brahmachari is another thing.
I can share you also how I became. Also, it's funny how then I took the decision to become a monk. That's also a funny story. Because again, we are starting from where we left. I become devotee, and officially becoming resident, doing seva in the ashram, always housekeeping, and I'm traveling with Guruji, serving Guruji in these travels, serving him personally. And in this first year with him, I spent the first year here. I really realized, really more and more, this is the path. This is what I really want for my life. And I realized at a certain point where, wow, it's 1 year that I'm living with monks as a monk. I never
thought about it.
Never thought about it. Like, if I even thought about it in the past, I would say, are you crazy or what? But somehow, looking at I was living in this last year of my life, I never felt so happy in my life, like in this moment.
You had this.
Yeah, this realization. And what happens? That the year is finishing and the day of Navaratri is arriving. And historically, Navaratri here is the day where people eventually take the decision to become monks, right? The Brahmacharini day, especially. The day when people then take a further commitment to actually take the vow of celibacy and serve fully the mission of Guruji, right? And so I feel that this day is coming, and no one externally is putting me pressure about this. Guruji never said nothing to me, but internally I feel that that's my call, my vocation. But I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid because there's this inner knowing that that's what I have to do, but for the mind it's so scary. And even though I lived for 1 year as a monk, it was so beautiful, right? No problems whatsoever. But the fear started to kick in, say, I'm really not able to take a commitment for all my life.
Yeah, because it's for life.
Yeah, a commitment for a life is so scary for the mind because you cannot control it. Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm freaking out. And again, no one is putting me pressure. It's all internal. And I realized that's anyways the thing I have to do. So what happened? The day of Brahmacharini day is approaching. I said, I really need a sign. If I don't have a clear sign, I will not do anything. And in this
This
first
is how we are. We need a sign.
I need a sign of the Lord. And in this first year, I developed a really strong connection with the Divine Mother. Also, this is the abode of the Divine Mother. It's really drenched in her energy here, right?
This
And
rest.
yeah, speaking and walking and stuff. And so I said, I really need a sign from her. I remember the day before of Navaratri, so 2 days before Brahmacharini day, I go to sleep, and my last thought, I look at the altar, where is the Divine Mother, and I say, please, give me a sign of what I have to do. If you don't give me a clear sign, I will not do anything. Okay?
It's good. You're forcing the hand of the Divine.
It's on your head.
I did my part, now you.
And so basically what happens, I go to sleep, everything is fine. I wake up the day after, and you know when you wake up and you have 100% clarity for something. And when you are clear, your mind is not scattered around, you have so much energy, right? Because all focus in one point. And I remember I woke up with this clarity and I told myself, this is my path. I want to become a brahmachari, I want to pursue God, I want to serve Guruji, and that's what I'm gonna do. Full clarity. And I didn't know where it was coming from. It was like, I was not me basically.
It's more than a sign.
Yeah,
it's
but
a full
internal sign, nothing externally happened. And so I was like, how to say, full of this energy, and I came out from my room and I went straight to Guruji's apartment. So I want to speak with him. And usually you don't do this. Right? There's a certain etiquette and he calls you and everything. But in that moment, something like I'm drawn to him. I go to him, to his house. He let me in, and he said me, "What are you doing here?" And I tell him, I would like to become your brahmachari. And look at me, and he start to laugh. So, but I'm super serious. I look at him super serious, and he sees me that I'm not joking. Say, are you sure about it? Why you want to do that? In that moment, I give you an explanation to him that still today I have no idea what I told him. Something like came out from me, like fully from the heart, zero mind. And the only thing I remember was his reaction. I start to smile, like brightness, a light. And he said, if that's what you feel, go for it. And basically the day after I became a monk. I became a monk, but the funny part, I became a monk, was a beautiful day. I was so happy. I go back to sleep that night, and my first day as a monk. The day after I wake up, and my mind is going crazy.
What have I done?
Oh my God, what just happened? And then in that moment I only realized that the Divine Mother answered my prayer. I said, please give me a sign. And actually I felt it, like, as if she took the decision from me. She brought me where I was supposed to be, where my destiny was in that moment. But then when she brought me there, I had to learn and walk the path by my own strength, with my own legs. And so took me several months to actually, as a monk, develop the actual identity as a monk. It was a gradual inner transformation. Because for the mind I was not 100% ready. I felt this my path, that's what I really want deep within. But the actual mindset and identity came with time, and actually is growing day by day. Because it's a decision you take for all your life, and you grow while walking this path. So that's how it happened.
Wow. And when did you become Pujari?
Pujari, before I became Brahmachari, a few months before.
So that's when you were developing the relationship with the Divine Mother?
The Divine Mother happened since the beginning, like, because my Ishtadev is Lakshmi Jagannath. But since I came here, stepping the first time, the first deity that attracted me was the Divine Mother, Lakshmi.
And who are you serving in the temple now?
I'm serving Varaha, outside, Lord Varaha.
This is so
in the
beautiful.
cold, in the German cold.
So, because the journey is beautiful, like your Ishtadev, your relationship, and what you actually serve is Varaha.
Yeah.
Who saves Divine Mother?
Divine Mother. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and basically that's the journey, how I choose to become a monk.
Wow, I feel like we're scratching the surface. This is the feeling. I really have the feeling that we're gonna do another episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Because now I feel like we reached one point where from here we can dive deeper into the relationship, experiences with Guruji, but also I would like to do to cut it like in two, because it's a good format. It's a good. We did the parikrama with the parikrama, and your energy is so full of joy that I really feel that we can spend another parikrama.
Absolutely.
just breaking down some experiences, travels, what happened after you became Rishi.
Yeah.
Because I feel the physicist and the housekeeper
Yeah.
need to to do a nuclear fusion.
Exactly,
into
we came in a middle point.
Rishi
Yeah.
would. So yeah, the servant, the nuclear servant.
Yeah.
So it's been a pleasure. It's
Thank
been
you.
a
It was
pleasure.
really
I
nice.
enjoyed every second of it, and I'm so happy that I have this backstory now, and I
Thank
feel
you.
like I know you better.
It was really nice, and it's so nice to actually speak about your own path,
Yeah.
because actually it reawakes that same feelings that you had.
And also, I think what I felt now, the joy of remembering for
Yeah.
you, because what I felt through this whole interaction, it was complete joy of reminding yourself
Yeah,
how
yeah,
it
yeah.
was.
Exactly.
And I hope this is the same for the
I hope
audience,
so, yeah.
because it was a blast. I had so much fun, and thank you,
Nice, thank you. Thank you,
Rishi.
Mayatita.
It was amazing, guys. Hope you stayed until the end. See you next time. We don't know when that next time will be, because we go with the flow here in the ashram.
Yeah.
But until then, stay grounded, walk straight towards God. Jai
Jai Gurudev.
Gurudev.